What if the man everyone thought was gone forever suddenly walked back into the story? The ranch has carried his memory for years. Amy has lived with the pain of loss. Fans of Heartland have replayed the moment over and over in their minds. But now, whispers are spreading. What if Ty Borden returns in Season 19, Episode 1? Could the impossible become reality? When Ty Borden left Heartland, the world of the show was shaken to its very core. His departure was not just a storyline. It was a heartbreak that reached into every home that loved him. We saw Amy lose the love of her life. We saw Lindy grow up without her father. And we as fans carried that same emptiness because Ty was never just another character. He was the heartbeat of Heartland. The steady hand guiding Amy through struggles, the loyal partner who stood by her side through every storm. For so many years, Ty represented hope. He was the man who came from a troubled past, but built a brighter future at the ranch. He fought through hardship, learned to heal others, and found family in the Heartland way. And when his story ended, it felt like the show itself had lost its anchor. Amy was left to pick up the pieces, raising her daughter and finding the strength to go on. The fans, too, felt the weight of that goodbye, because in Ty's absence, every quiet moment at the ranch felt just a little colder. But what if that goodbye was not the end? What if it was the beginning of something we never saw coming? That question is what drives the excitement for Season 19, Episode 1. Every trailer breakdown, every whispered rumor, and every fan theory circles back to one possibility: Ty Borden could return. Maybe it is through a dream. Maybe it is through old memories. Maybe it is even through an unbelievable twist that rewrites what we thought we knew. Think about how powerful that moment would be. Amy standing in the golden light of the ranch fields, a shadow in the distance, a rider approaching. At first she thinks it is nothing, just another ranch hand, another day, but then the figure gets closer. The camera lingers, the audience holds their breath, and as the rider pulls back his hood or tips his hat, the impossible becomes real. The face we thought was gone is back. Ty Borden, alive in the world of Heartland once again. This is not just about a character returning. This is about restoring the balance of a story that has always been about family, about love, about second chances. Ty's return would be the ultimate second chance. The pain of goodbye would be replaced with the shock of reunion. And the trailer for Season 19, Episode 1 hints just enough to make us wonder. Could it happen? Could the man we lost return to the ranch and make Heartland whole again? The whispers began in the quiet corners of online forums where fans gathered to trade their theories and hopes. Someone posted a blurry screenshot claiming to have seen Ty in the background of a leaked trailer. Another claimed they recognized Graham Wardle's voice in a few seconds. Of audio fans who had been silent for years suddenly returned to share their excitement. Could it be possible? Could the actor who walked away from the role now be ready to step back into it? Every great rumor grows from a small spark, and this one spread like wildfire. Soon, social media was alive with speculation. Short clips shared and reshared across platforms left everyone asking the same question. Was that really Ty's silhouette riding across the ranch fields? Or was it simply clever editing meant to pull at our emotions? The showrunners have always known how much the audience cares about Ty and Amy together. So every frame of new footage feels like a puzzle waiting to be solved. Behind-the-scenes whispers added more fuel. Some crew members hinted at a secret cameo. A few entertainment blogs ran headlines suggesting a shocking return. And though no one confirmed it outright, the silence from the Heartland team only made the rumor feel more real. Sometimes, the lack of denial speaks louder than any official statement, and fans clung to that silence as proof that something big was on the horizon. The rumor itself became part of the excitement. Imagine scrolling through your feed and seeing a mysterious figure on horseback, riding into the ranch at sunset. The image fades before the face is revealed and your heart stops for a moment. Could it be Ty? Is this the moment we have been waiting for? For fans who have carried the weight of his absence, the idea that he might ride back into the story is almost too good to believe. Yet that is exactly why the rumor has power, because hope mixed with mystery can make people believe in the impossible. And so the conversation turned from disbelief to anticipation. People began to predict how his return would be written. Would it be explained as a hidden chapter in his life? Did he survive against all odds? Or would it be more spiritual, a vision that Amy and Lindy share to guide them into a new stage of life? Every theory feels just as possible as the next, because Heartland has always balanced realism with heartwarming twists. The thought of Ty reappearing fits perfectly with that tradition. The rumor is not only about one character, it is about what his presence means to the entire Heartland family. Jack would see him as the son he never had. Georgie would feel the bond of an older brother again. Amy would no longer walk alone through the challenges of raising Lindy, and the audience would feel a piece of their own story restored. This is why the rumor refuses to die, because it is rooted in love, longing, and the shared dream of everyone who has followed Heartland for nearly 2 decades. The mystery continues to grow with each passing week, and now fans wait with trembling anticipation for the premiere of Season 19, Episode 1. The trailer is said to hold the answer, and until then, the rumor burns brighter than ever. Could Ty Borden truly return to the ranch? Could this rumor be the first step toward rewriting Heartland history? For years, Amy Fleming has carried a weight heavier than the ranch itself. The day she lost Ty was the day the world seemed to break in two. The sun still rose over the foothills, and the horses still needed her care, but inside her heart, the silence was louder than any storm. She had grown used to leaning on Ty, his calm voice, his steady presence, the way he could read her thoughts without a single word. When that was gone, Amy was left staring at an empty chair at the dinner table and a future she never planned for. In the seasons that followed, Amy showed strength that inspired not only her family, but also the millions of fans who walked through grief alongside her. She faced long days of raising Lindy alone, teaching her daughter stories about the father she would never truly know. She poured her soul into training horses, using her gift as a way to heal others, while quietly trying to heal herself. Every time she touched a horse's mane, or whispered calm into a frightened animal, there was a shadow of Ty there beside her, as if his spirit lived in the work they once shared. But pain does not disappear, even when buried under love and duty. There were nights when Amy sat alone on the porch, staring into the dark horizon, waiting for a voice that would never come. The loneliness was sharp and real, and yet through it all she kept moving forward, because that is what Ty would have wanted. The resilience she built became the heart of Heartland's story, a message to fans that even after unbearable loss, life can continue and hope can bloom again. Still, there is a part of Amy's journey that feels unfinished. Like a book with missing pages, her story has always been tied to Ty's presence. Their love was the foundation of everything she became. The ranch, the family, the future she dreamed of. Even when she found new strength, it was impossible not to feel the hollow space where he once stood. And that is why the idea of his return is so powerful. Because it is not just about bringing back a character, it is about restoring the piece of Amy that was taken from her. Imagine the impact if that missing piece suddenly came back into view. Amy walking through the fields, with Lindy holding her hand. The sound of hooves breaks the silence. A rider appears at the edge of the horizon. The girl squints, wondering who it could be. Amy shields her eyes against the light, and for a breathless moment, she freezes. Her heart knows before her mind does. The world stops spinning and the impossible begins to feel real. This is the emotional core that fans have been waiting for. Amy's years of pain, her struggle to carry on without Ty, and the growth she found through hardship, all lead to this possibility. If Ty truly returns, then every moment of sorrow, every tear shed over his loss, will transform into one of the most powerful reunions in television history. And if the trailer is hinting at that, then Amy's journey is about to take a turn that no one thought they would see. The trailer begins with silence, that heavy kind of silence that makes your chest tighten before a storm rolls in. A slow shot of the ranch fields, golden grass swaying under the evening. Son Amy is seen working with a horse. Her movements calm, but her eyes carry that same quiet sadness that has never left her. The music underneath is soft, almost fragile, like it could break at any moment. Then, without warning, the sound of hooves cuts through the air, distant at first, then growing louder. The camera does not show the rider at once. It lingers on Amy's reaction. She stops mid-step, turning toward the sound. Her breath catches. Her hand hovers at her chest, as if her body knows something her mind refuses to believe. The hooves grow louder until the earth itself seems to tremble. The audience leans forward, waiting for a face, waiting for confirmation that the impossible is about to unfold. The screen cuts to black. The sound of a horse neighing echoes in the dark. Then a flash of light shows the silhouette of a man riding across the field. The figure sits tall in the saddle, steady, confident, familiar. A hat shields his face, but every detail feels known. The way he holds the reins, the posture that speaks of years on horseback. The trailer does not say his name, but every fan watching feels it in their bones. This could be Ty Borden. The music swells, shifting from fragile strings to a deep rising score like a heartbeat quickening. Amy whispers something, but the words are lost under the music. Her face tells the story better than words. Wide eyes, trembling lips, and the faintest hint of tears that she does not even realize are falling. The camera cuts away again, refusing to give us what we want, dragging the tension tighter until it hurts. For a brief second, the screen flashes between images. A hand touching a horse's mane, a shadow moving through the barn, a photograph of Ty resting on the mantel at the ranch house. Each image is quick enough to feel like a dream, but together they stitch the memory of who he was back into the present. The audience is no longer watching a trailer. They are holding their breath. On the edge of revelation, the words appear across the screen in bold letters. Ty Borden returns. The letters fade into the dark and then vanish, leaving only the sound of the horse slowing to a stop right outside the ranch gates. The final frame shows Amy turning toward the rider, her face half lit by the fading sun. The screen cuts to black once more, leaving nothing but silence and the pounding of the viewer's own heart. That is the tease, the moment that sets the world of Heartland fans on fire. No confirmation, no denial, only a haunting glimpse that suggests the story we thought was finished may not be finished at all. It is the kind of reveal that bends the line between rumor and reality, and it leaves every viewer asking the same question: is Ty truly back? Or is this just the beginning of another twist? The trailer does not end with certainty. It ends with questions. Questions so heavy, they stay with you long after the screen goes black. The music fades into a low hum, almost like the sound of the wind across the fields. Then comes the image of Lindy playing near the barn, her laughter floating through the air. She suddenly stops. She looks up toward the horizon, and her smile fades. Her small voice breaks the silence, asking, "Mommy, who is that?" The camera cuts back to Amy. Her face is frozen between hope and fear. Her eyes widen as she takes a single step forward. The rider dismounts in the distance, his figure still cloaked in shadow. The way he moves, the way he lifts his head, it all feels hauntingly familiar. The audience is desperate to see his face, but just as the camera is about to close in, the screen cuts to black. A single sound follows the cut. A soft intake of breath that could only belong to Amy. Words appear against the dark screen. Is this the moment everything changes? The letters slowly fade into another question. Is Ty Borden really back in Heartland? The final shot is not a face, not a reveal, but the sound of a heartbeat echoing louder and louder, until it suddenly stops. The silence after feels deafening, leaving fans staring at their screens with more questions than answers. This is not just a trailer tease. It is a carefully placed cliffhanger designed to ignite every discussion board, every fan theory, every late-night conversation among those who have followed the Heartland journey from the very beginning. It leaves room for dreams and doubts all at once. Could the man we thought was gone truly be stepping back into the story? Or is this the beginning of an entirely different twist meant to shake the ranch in ways we cannot yet imagine? By ending here, the trailer hands the power back to the audience, forcing them to fill the silence with their own beliefs and hopes. Some will say it is impossible. Others will argue it has been hinted at all along. But no one can deny the feeling, the rush of emotion that comes from the thought of seeing Ty return. The cliffhanger works because it does not give the answer. It simply leaves the door wide open. And when a door at Heartland is left open, you never know who might walk through. The moment the trailer ended, the internet lit up like wildfire. Within minutes, social media feeds overflowed with screenshots, slowed clips and circles, drawn around every shadow that might hint at Ty's return. Fans from around the world poured into comment sections, their voices filled with equal parts hope and disbelief. Some cried at the thought of seeing him again. Others refused to believe, until they saw his face on screen. The debate spread faster than the trailer itself because this was no ordinary preview. This was a spark that reignited a story millions thought was finished. On fan forums, the theories multiplied. One post argued that Ty had been alive all along, hidden away after some tragic accident, and now finally returning to his family. Another suggested a more mystical twist, that Ty would appear in visions guiding Amy and Lindy through the challenges ahead. Some even believed the writer was not Ty at all, but a clever misdirection, perhaps a new character meant to test Amy's heart. Yet no matter the theory, every comment circled back to the same question. Could Heartland really bring Ty back after all these years? The emotional impact reached far beyond simple speculation. For longtime viewers, the trailer cracked open old wounds. The memory of Ty's final goodbye was one of the most painful moments in the show's history, and watching that shadow ride across the ranch stirred those feelings all over again. For some fans, it felt like reliving grief. For others, it felt like hope, finally pushing through the sorrow. Hearts broke and mended all at once in the space of a 90-second preview. Memes and edits flooded the internet within hours. Fans paired old footage of Amy and Ty with the new shadowy shots, creating fan trailers of their own that went viral. Many wrote long posts about how Ty's return would mean more than just a story twist. It would be a gift, a chance to see love reborn, a reminder that even in the darkest moments, there is always a chance for light. One fan wrote, "Seeing Ty again would feel like getting back a piece of my own heart." And that comment alone gathered thousands of likes. The speculation even pulled in people who had left the show years ago. Viewers who stopped after Ty's departure suddenly came back, drawn by the possibility of his return. They rewatched old episodes, shared favorite scenes, and talked about how Heartland had shaped their lives. The rumor of Ty's comeback was more than a plot detail. It was a bridge reconnecting the audience with the show that had once defined their evenings and weekends. And yet, through all the excitement, one truth stood out louder than the rest. Nobody knew for sure if the return was real. That mystery became its own kind of power. The trailer had done its job perfectly, leaving fans restless, hungry for answers, desperate for the day when Season 19, Episode one would finally air. Every conversation, every tweet, every fan theory carried the same electric energy. The question of Ty Borden's return was no longer just a rumor. It had become a movement. The wait for Season 19. Episode 1 is no longer just about another chapter in the Heartland story. It has become a countdown to the moment when every question might finally be answered. Fans are not simply wondering what happens next. They are holding their breath for a miracle. They have carried the memory of Ty Borden for years, seen Amy stand strong in his absence, and watched Lindy grow up without knowing her father. Now everything hangs on a single promise hidden in the shadows of a trailer. The promise that Ty could return is the kind of anticipation that transforms a show into something larger than entertainment. This is about family. This is about love. This is about the bond that Heartland has always carried at its core. From the very first season, the show taught us that healing is possible, that second chances can appear when we least expect them. And if Ty is truly coming back, then Season 19 is not just another season. It is the story of the greatest second chance in Heartland history. Picture the premiere night. The screen flickers. To life, the familiar theme music plays and the camera sweeps across the ranch. The audience is no longer relaxed. They are leaning forward, gripping their seats. Every small moment, every detail is studied with restless energy, waiting for that one reveal. And when the shadowed rider finally steps into the light, whatever truth is revealed will echo far beyond the screen. Because fans are not just watching for answers, they are watching for hope. The anticipation now is electric. It fuels late night conversations, group chats, and endless speculation online. But beneath all the theories, there is a shared feeling binding the audience together. A hope that maybe, just maybe, the story is not finished. That the love story that defined Heartland can find its way back to the screen. Whether it is real or only a dream, Ty's presence changes everything. His name alone carries more weight than any twist the show has ever offered. And so we wait, counting down the days, replaying the trailer, dissecting every frame. Hearts racing with the thought of what could be. The silence of the trailer's cliffhanger has become a heartbeat of its own, a rhythm that matches the anticipation of millions of fans. Is Ty Borden truly coming home? Is this the moment we see the ranch whole again? The answer waits in Season 19, Episode 1. Until then, we live in the space between hope and mystery, carrying the same question forward. Could Ty Borden really return?